Hello. Oh my gosh. So I want to talk about my dream because I had this crazy dream last night or this morning, whatever. So I was telling my son, so my dreams have been actually acting very odd lately. Like usually like I can't really remember my dreams, but now I can remember them, but only when I'm not speaking about them. So it's like I'll be having a random conversation about something random with other people, and then the dream will come in my head while I'm speaking, and then I'll no longer be able to continue that conversation because I'm trying to decode things in my dreams. But anyways, I was speaking to this ant, right? Now, this might sound odd because I've never actually heard of an ant species that was as big as the one I was speaking to, but I digress. I was speaking to this ant, right? And I was, because I'm going to tell the story just like I was telling my kids, because my son was like, whoa. But I was trying to explain to him, like, in the dream, like, or the person I was speaking to did not take it that way. Because we were talking about the praying mantises, right? Me and this ant being. We're talking about the praying mantises. I would expect, okay, because I was looking at the ant, and I don't know if it was an ant. I think it was an ant. It was black. It looked like an ant, okay? But, I mean, like, it was tall, but, like, not as tall as me. But obviously, I mean, like, not like, because I'm only, like, 5 foot, right? So, anyways, I don't know how tall it was. It was taller than me, though, I think, or the same height or something. I don't know. I didn't really look at, I don't know. I wasn't focused on that. What I was focused on was the conversation because I was saying to it as I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, like, I was talking to it about how the praying mantises just kind of like operate and don't like have emotions towards us. And so I was like, I thought that the ant beings would be scary because I was like, I mean, look at you guys. Like, like I would assume that I would be scared by the way you look because I've never seen anything look like that before. And the alien races that people here I've heard speak of, none of them look like that, right? So I was like, like, look at the way you guys look. And then my kids are like, oh my god, that's so rude. But I'm like, I know it sounds rude, but in the dream it wasn't rude. Like, yes, I know. I know it sounds rude, and I don't even know if I was dreaming. But anyways, I know it sounds rude, but like, I don't know, this wasn't rude. And then they were telling me about, because we were talking about the alien races to come down, right? So then they were like how there is going to be a bird race that comes down first, but it's, or like shows themselves, but it's not the avians. It is something else. Because I was saying, like, I don't really like, not in like a rude way, because I love everybody, right? But I was watching Alien Resident the other day, and I seen they were showing this avian, right? Okay, now I do have an issue with the birds. I'm not gonna lie. The feathers, the feathers go like I just can't. And when she was doing the pigeon stuff, please, I was like, like, So yeah, in the dream I was like, are they gonna look like that and like make pigeon noises? Because it's like the next like the pigeons in Toronto and Brampton just like disturbed me. So like I guess so then I was like and they're like no, and they told me the race, but hell if I know. I was trying to remember the dream because the ant told me so much stuff. So my son was asking me if it was an ant guide, but I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen this. I've never seen this ant before in my life. I just don't know because in my dreams I don't know any of the people at all. Like I don't know anybody in my dreams. Like I know them in the dreams, obviously, but like in person, I've never seen any of these people, not one, especially that guy. And then the last, I was telling the kids like I'm not going to describe the man because the last time I did, that's when I seen all those aliens and all those portals open up, and I don't know. So I was like, I don't mind talking about it because I love when the portals do open up, but I have to be in a different space. Like I have to be like completely calm and like meditating or something, which I do not have the energy to do right now, right? At all. Which is why I haven't. But yeah. And yeah, so anyways, I think it was like in regards to that because well I can't even remember why I was even talking about the mantises. I can't remember why. I can't remember. And then that's the thing about the conversation. And the thing about the conversation was so weird because as I was telling my son my dream, like the things I was telling my son about my son, it was so weird because he was telling me that he also had a dream, but his dream was so similar to my dream that I started asking him if he was reading my thoughts. Oh my. Because he's a Pisces too, right? So he's spiritual, and I've literally watched him channel, so I know he does do channeling. So I was like, because I was like, how are you telling me what I dreamt about you? Crazy, right? Things are getting crazy, and I'm excited to see the new race that they said is gonna come down first. I feel like there was something else I was supposed to say too about that, but I literally cannot remember. That's why I said I wanted to make the video earlier, but the way how these kids were up in my head, I could not make the video. But sometimes they're like, there's so much, because I think they were saying something else, and I think like, but my whole thing with them is like, I don't think that the way they communicate is the same way we communicate, because as I said, like, when I was speaking to the being wasn't getting angry at me for any of the things that I was saying, but as I was saying the things that I was saying out loud, I could see why people would think that it's harsh. But I think when speaking to these beings, like, I don't think they take it that way. Like, it's yeah, it's better. It's like matter of fact. It's not like, you know, don't insult me, because they know anyways, right? So it's more of a matter of fact, because I was, I guess, insulting the way the whatever the object, the entity, the being looked. I was, but it wasn't in a, like, in my heart while I was speaking, I never meant it that way. I just said it, you know. And the being was, you know, okay. The being told me so much useful stuff. I mean, like, hey, I mean, like, I've never even knew that there was like big ants. Like, I never knew that. I thought the ants we seen that were like this big was it. Yeah, I literally remember talking to an ant, which I think is very odd. I don't know. It could be another being that presented themselves in an ant, but I just don't see why they would. I don't see why they would an ant. That's why I was telling the ant that the ant looks odd, because I was like, what? I'm like, they talked about the mantises, why not you? And I remember he answered that too, but I just can't. I just don't remember what he said. Like, it was something, but I just literally do not remember. Like I'm only saying the bits and pieces that I do remember, and what I do remember is about the other bird race that is coming, that is not the avians, which I don't know. Like, I mean, like, if they're a bird and they're doing the same like things with the feathers and whatnot. But hey, in the dream I was happy. Oh yes, and then the thing with the I've been having dreams about dolphins like every single day, and I don't know, like, and I cannot remember what we're talking about or what we're doing or what. But every day there's a dolphin, and every day it's like I wake up with the memory, but then it fades in like literally 1.2 seconds. So by the time I even get up and pick up my notepad to write down everything, it's gone. But yeah, I did tell myself that I'm gonna start going to my bed earlier so I can start documenting what I'm hearing, because I did get a lot of insightful advice, but I do not remember. I just have to sit with it, I guess, more, because I only even remembered the stuff that I did remember because I was talking about random other stuff with my kids that had nothing to do with this at all. But yes, that's the end of my video, because like I'm totally gonna like go to bed soon. Alright, so have a great, grandiose day, okay? A great day full of lots of love and like roses, and don't forget to go outside and like smell the air. The air is like so beautiful lately, and it's like it has like this warm, like, you know what I mean? Like, smell the air and be your best self. Later.